Hi everybody and welcome to another location video. Today for this exclusive Granda edition, in the last video said that I had a little surprise up my sleeve for everybody. Well, let me tell you, I am officially in Adelaide, South Australia. I cannot believe I'm here. This is my first official time seeing this wonderful city. And throughout this video, you're going to see me in different places where I'm going to film different parts. So this is going to sort of be over the upcoming days of different places that you're going to see throughout this video. So I'm so looking forward to taking you all on that iconic adventure. And I'm also going to be celebrating my 31st birthday here, which I'm looking forward to that. So strap yourself in. It's going to be one awesome journey, and I can't wait to see where it's going to take me and where I'm going to take you all along to. So without further ado, let me show you all lovely Adelaide, or in this case, Radelaide. Let's do it. Adelaide is the capital and most populous city of South Australia and fifth most in Australia. The name Adelaide may refer to either Greater Adelaide, including the Adelaide Hills, or the Adelaide city centre. The demonym Adelaidean is used to denote the city and the residents. The traditional owners of the region are the Gurunga, with the name Tundaya referring to the area of the city centre and surrounding parklands in the Gurunga language. It's situated on the Adelaide Plains north of the Floru Peninsula, between the Gulf St Vincent in the west and the Mount Lofty Ranges in the east. Its metropolitan area extends 20 kilometres from the coast to the foothills of the Mount Lofty Ranges and stretches 96 kilometres from Golar in the north to Selix Beach in the south. Designed by the first Surveyor General of South Australia, Colonel William Light, his plan, sometimes referred to as Light's Vision, also the name of the statue of him on Montefiore Hill, arranged Adelaide in the grid, with 5 squares in the Adelaide city centre and ring of parks, known as the Adelaide Parklands surrounding it. Light's selection of the location for the city was initially unpopular with the early settlers as well as South Australia's first governor, John Hindmarsh, due to its distance from the harbour at Port Adelaide and the lack of fresh water there. It's consistently ranked in the world's 10 most livable cities through the 2010s by the Economist Intelligence Unit. In June 2021, the Economist ranked the 3rd most livable city in the world, behind Auckland and Osaka. June 2023, Adelaide was ranked the 12th most livable city in the world by the Economist Intelligence Unit. In December 2021, they were named the world's 2nd national park city after the state government had lobbied for this title. It was ranked the most livable city in Australia by the Property Council of Australia, based on surveys of residents' views of their own city between 2010 and 2013, dropping to 2nd place in 2014. Adelaide was founded on a vision of religious tolerance that attracted a wide variety of religious practitioners. This led to it being known as the City of Churches. Approximately 28% of the population expressed no religious affiliation in the 2011 census, compared with the national average of 22.3%, making Adelaide one of Australia's least religious cities. According to 2021 census, 39.8% population of Adelaide identifies as Christian, with the largest denominations being Catholic, Anglican, Uniting Church and Greek Orthodox. Non-Christian faith communities representing 9.5% from Adelaide's population include Islam, Hinduism and Buddhism. There are approximately 529 Christian churches in Adelaide. The city earned the nickname City of Churches due to its early establishment with many places of worship, and it continues to have a high number of churches relative to its population, because many were built during its early years of colonisation. Compensation to other cities. While Sydney has more churches overall, Adelaide ranks third for the number of churches per 100,000 people. According to a 2014 study, notable church, the Holy Trinity Church, consecrated in 1838, is the oldest church still in use in South Australia. Adelaide's inhabitants are known as Adelaideans. Compared with Australia's other state capitals, it's growing at a rate similar to Sydney and Hobart. In 2024, metropolitan population, including suburbs, of 1,469,163, and 163, making it Australia's fifth largest city. 77% of the population of South Australia are residents of the metropolitan area, making it one of the most centralised states. Major areas of population growth in recent years have been in outer suburbs such as Mawson Lakes and Golden Grove. The inhabitants occupy 366,912 houses, 57,695 semi-detached road terrace or townhouses, and 49,413 flats, units or apartments. About 1/6 of the population had university qualifications. The number of Adelaideans with vocational qualifications, such as tradespersons, fell from 62.1% of the labour force in the 1991 census to 52.4% in the 2001 census. Adelaide is ageing more rapidly than other Australian capital cities. More than a quarter of population is aged 55 years or older. In comparison to the national average, it has the lowest number of children under 15 years old who comprise of the population compared to national average ages. Rundle Mall is a pedestrian street mall. It was opened as a pedestrian mall in September 1976, after the closing of the western section of Rundle Street between King William Street and Pulteney Street to vehicular traffic. The street continues as Rundle Street as before to the east and Hindley Street to the west. By annual foot traffic, it is the busiest shopping precinct in Australia, at 520 metres with over 1,000 retail outlets, 300 services, 3 department stores and 15 acres. Rundle Mall is the longest outdoor mall in the Southern Hemisphere. It's the centrepiece of Adelaide city centre and home to some of the most expensive commercial real estate in the state. Rundle Street, from which the mall takes its name, is named after John Rundle, a member of the British House of Commons and an original director of the South Australia Company. The street was named on 23rd of May 1837 by the Street Naming Committee. In 1895, the first electric street lighting was installed at the intersection of Rundle Street, King William Street and Hindley Street at what is now known as Beehive Corner during the late 19th century. Rundle Street had the tram line run through it, part of a large network of trams in Adelaide. Horse-drawn trams travelled from the Southern Cross Hotel from King William Street into Rundle Street, past the Kent Town Brewery, with various lines travelling through different routes in the eastern suburbs. Its terraces and shorefronts feature ornate European architecture from the late 19th to end 20th centuries, as well modern buildings. It's also home to flagship retail stores of many large Australian retailers, and many smaller independent and chain stores. They feature numerous luxury brands such as Tiffany & Co., Bridling, Tag Heuer, The Hourglass, Sephora, Bulgari, and Cartier authorized dealers, as well as Gucci, Dior, Armani, Prada, and Chanel, who operate concessions inside David Jones. The mall also features a number of arcades and plazas containing the smaller boutique and eateries. These include the Italiana-style Adelaide Arcade, also being the first retail establishment in Australia with electric lighting, Regent Arcade, Gaze Arcade, City Cross, Southern Cross, Adelaide Central Plaza, Maya Centre, Resonance Arcade, and Rundle Place. I've got an exciting song that I'm about to play for you all, and it's a previous artist that came on in the past. They go by Andy Joel, and I actually played a previous song of theirs about 3 years ago from a beach challenge video, and now they're back again with a song that you're about to hear called Self-Discovery. It's a really fantastic song, and I really hope you all thoroughly enjoy listening to it. It definitely gives iconic city vibes, and I am so grateful that Andy's allowed me to have 2 of their tracks, which we'll hear another one of theirs later on in the video. I'll leave their socials in the description below. Enjoy listening.
Because you never said this before. Now I've had to reassess my flaws. Always wondered about this. Makes sense now, I'm in real bliss. Explanations vibrate reassurance. On this journey of discovery, I will sing and dance up until early. It's a disco discovery, disco discovery. It's a disco discovery, my self-discovery. Now that I'm learning my life's lessons, all the answers to all of my questions, undo all of my beliefs, find all the missing pieces, reprogram my thoughts and what I was taught. On this journey of discovery, I will sing and dance up until early. It's a disco discovery, disco discovery. It's a disco discovery, my self-discovery. Disco disco discovery. Disco 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 disco, my self-discovery. I just here to be me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Disco, discovery. Disco, disco. Discovery. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I self-discovery. Disco, discovery. Disco, discovery. Disco, discovery. My self-discovery.
Victoria Square, also known as Tangtinianga, formerly Tandanianga, is the central square of 5 public squares in the Adelaide city centre. It's one of 6 squares designed by the founder Colonel William Light in his 1837 plan of the city, which spanned the River Terrains Valley, comprising the city centre and North Adelaide. The square was named on 23rd of May 1837 by the Street Naming Committee after Princess Victoria, then heir presumptive of the British throne, in 2003. It was assigned a second name, Tangtinianga, in the name of the original inhabitants, as part of the Adelaide City Council's dual naming initiative. It has been upgraded and modified several times through its lifetime and has become a tradition that during the Christmas period, 24.5 metre tall Christmas tree is erected in the northern part of the square. St Francis Xavier Cathedral is a Roman Catholic cathedral in Adelaide. It is classified as being Gothic Revival building in the early English style. The foundation stone was laid in 1856 and the building was dedicated in 1858. The construction of the tower began in 1887 and was not completed until 1996. The tower stands 36 metres 118 feet high and is 56.5 metres 185 feet lengthwise and 29.5 metres 97 foot horizontally. The cornerstone of the current bell tower was laid in 1887, but the lower part was only built between 1923 and 26 during expansion work on the cathedral when the western aisle was also extended. The expanded building was opened in April 1926 by Archbishop Robert Spence. It was not until 1996 that the bell tower was finally completed by the architect Linton Jury. 109 years after construction of the tower commenced, the bell used in the tower is the Murphy Bell of 1867, surrounded by the 13 other bells hung for change ringing, installed in 1996. 7 of those bells date from 1881 and were previously in St Mary's Cathedral, Sydney. Hindley Street is one of Adelaide's first streets and has hosted significant historical events, such as the printing of the first newspaper and the first meeting of City Council. It once a diverse area with industries, retail, and theatres before becoming an entertainment hub. Also a melting pot of creative culture with a mix of eateries, cafes, galleries, and educational institutions. Street art is also a notable feature with murals abounding some buildings. Revitalisation project, the street is currently undergoing a major upgrade initiated by the City of Adelaide to enhance its pedestrian experience. Improvements will include wider footpaths, better lighting, more shade from trees, and narrow vehicle lanes to prioritise pedestrians. The Botanic Garden is a 51 hectare, 130 acres public garden at the northeast corner of the Adelaide city centre. In the parklands, it lies on North Terrace between Lot 14, the site of the old Royal Adelaide Hospital and the National Wine Centre, and behind it the Botanic Park adjacent to the zoo. Work was begun on the site in 1855, with its official opening to the public on 4th of October 1857. Adjacent State Herbarium of South Australia, together with the Whitunga and Mount Lofty Botanic Garden, compresses the Botanic Garden and State Herbarium, administrated by the Board, a state government sanctuary authority. From the first official survey carried out for the map of Adelaide, Colonel William Light intended for the planned city to have a botanical garden. To this end, he designed a naturally occurring that had formed in the course of the River Torrens, in what is now the West Parklands. However, attempts to establish a garden were abandoned owing to frequent flooding of the area. After second attempt had failed, the northern bank of the Torrens, opposite the present location of the zoo, was considered. It was here in 1839 that John Bailey, an experienced gardener and colonial botanist, made a third attempt, but no funding was offered. The South Australian Agricultural and Horticultural Society formed in 1842, and other groups continued to press for the creation of the public garden. The public were aware of the economic and scientific benefits of such a garden, already seen elsewhere in the British Empire. In 1854, the present site was recommended to the government by the Society and George William Francis, who had begun appealing to the Governor Sir Henry Young soon after his arrival in 1849, to establish the garden, and Francis was appointed superintendent of the garden in 1855. In January 1855, the Legislative Council finally approved the site. The land was held sacred by the Kaurna people as the red kangaroo dreaming Tundanyunga, but at the time it was being used as paddocks for police horses. Francis was responsible for establishing the perimeter, solving the flooding problems, and landscaping North Terrace to blend well with the entrance to the garden. In October 1855, he presented his first progress report, including a plan to Regent's Park in London as an example of circular garden design that he thought could be adapted for Adelaide. Francis and his family moved into the superintendent's cottage in 1856, and the garden was open to the public on 4th of October 1857. In 1860, the Botanic Garden enacted, which established the Board of Governors. With Francis as director, the site at the time included the present Botanic Garden, Botanic Park, and zoo. A pagoda was built in 1863, and Francis established the first herbarium and botanical library in Adelaide in 1864. A rustic temple modelled on the Museum of Economic Botany at Kew Gardens in England, with the design intimidating the Parthenon in Athens. Francis gave lectures in the lecture room there each Tuesday. Huckia francesea, an Australian shrub that grows to 4 metres, is named after him. After his retirement shortly before his death in 1865, Francis was succeeded by botanist Maurice Richard Schomburg, brother to the German naturalist Robert Hermann Scharberg. He was a major advocate for the establishment of forest reserves in the increasingly denuded South Australian countryside. Holtheis retired in 1917 and was succeeded by John Frederick Bailey, grandson of John Bailey and son of Frederick Mansion Bailey. He proved so successful that public service regulations were waived to extend his directorship and occupancy of the lodge past mandatory retirement age. The gardens receive funding from the Government of South Australia, supplemented by sponsorship and community donations, administrated by the Botanical Gardens Foundation. Funds are raised for the purposes of scientific research, education, acquisition, and maintenance of living collections, and for the long-term financial security. The Foundation is the trustee of the not-for-profit Adelaide Botanical Gardens Foundation Fund. The board recognise Aboriginal people as the traditional owners of the state's lands, water, plants, and animals, commonly known as country. We observe that country is central to the social, cultural, and spiritual lives of Aboriginal people. We will build respectful and honest relationships through our work and develop a better awareness of Aboriginal history, knowledge, and culture. Birds, turtles, lizards, insects, and flying foxes are just some of the wildlife you'll find in Botanic Garden and next door to Botanic Park. To our feathered, furred, and shelled friends, the gardens are home. They provide a natural haven and a plentiful supply of natural food sources. When you visit the garden, you will see signs dotted about the place asking that you do not feed the wildlife. The welfare of animals and birds that are attracted to, and become dependent on, artificial food sources is of real concern. Food fed to wildlife, like bread, almost always has low nutritional value and can be harmful to the animal eating it. Feeding wild animals may also prevent their young from learning how to forage, making them relevant on humans to survive. Retrieved from the Botanic Gardens website. The Palm or Tropical House is a stunning Victorian-era glasshouse situated to the west of the main lake, serving as one of the most iconic and historically significant structures within the gardens. Designed by the German architect Gustav Runge, the intricate cast iron and glass structure was manufactured in Bremen, Germany, before being carefully dismantled, shipped and reassembled in Australia in 1875. Officially opened to the public in 1877, the glasshouse was celebrated for its elegant ironwork, symmetrical design, and its ability to create a humid, warm environment ideal for showcasing erotic tropical plants from around the world. Over the decades, the Palm House became a favourite attraction enchanting generations of visitors with its lush displays of palms, orchards, and other tropical flora. However, exposure to the elements took its toll on the iron framework and glass panels. Major restoration efforts were carried out in 1995 and again in 2018, ensuring that the structure was preserved for future generations while retaining its original architectural beauty and craftsmanship. Notably, the Palm House is the second oldest surviving glasshouse in Australia, and the only known example of a German-manufactured glasshouse from that era remaining anywhere in the world, as its counterparts were destroyed during the Second World War. This rarity adds immense heritage value to the building, making it as an irreplaceable piece of the 19th century engineering and design. Originally constructed to house tropical plant species, the glasshouse faced ongoing corrosion and climate control challenges that made it unsuitable for maintaining high humidity. As a result, in the early 1990s, its plant collection was thoroughly reimagined. Today, it displays a fascinating array of Madagascan arid flora, including succulents and drought-tolerant species that thrive in its restored environment. This transformation not only preserved the integrity of the building, but also introduced visitors to a unique and ecologically significant collection, showcasing the incredible diversity of plant life adapted to the dry climates. As part of Adelaide's grand celebration of the Australian Bicentenary, the Bicentennial Conservatory was commissioned as a lasting symbol of environmental awareness and architectural innovation. Construction began in 1987, and the conservatory officially opened its doors to the public in the late 1989. The striking structure was designed by renowned local architect Guy Marin, whose vision was to create a world-class greenhouse that could both educate and inspire. His work has since earned multiple awards for its outstanding design, engineering, and landscaping, highlighting the seamless blend between architecture and nature. The conservatory itself is an impressive feat of engineering, measuring 100 metres, 328 feet in length, 47 metres, 154 feet in width, and 27 metres, 89 feet in height. It holds the distinction of being the largest single-span conservatory in the Southern Hemisphere. Its elegant curved steel and glass form was specifically designed to capture light and maintain a humid environment suitable for tropical plant life. Originally, the conservatory showcased a rich collection of at-risk and endangered tropical rainforest plants sourced from northern Australia, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, and the South Pacific Islands. Visitors could wander through lush, misty pathways filled with exotic palms, cycads, ferns, and vines, gaining an appreciation for fragile ecosystems beyond Australian shores. Established in 1996, the National Rose Trial Garden of Australia marked a significant milestone in the nation's horticultural history as the first garden of its kind dedicated to testing new rose varieties for their performance under Australian climatic conditions. This pioneering initiative was designed to identify which international and locally bred roses could thrive in Australia's often harsh, diverse environments, helping both growers and gardeners choose resilient and high-performing cultivars suited to their regions. The garden represents a collaborative effort between the Adelaide Botanical Gardens, the National Rose Trials Society of Australia, and members of the rose industry, combining scientific elevation with the artistry of rose cultivation. The site itself holds historical value as it was developed on the part of the former Municipal Tramways Trust Hickory Depot, seamlessly transforming a piece of Adelaide's industrial heritage into a vibrant, living landscape filled with colour and fragrance. Planting demonstrates the diversity of the species and highlights their distinct growth habitat, colours and perfume.
But what we do at our table, the people that want to use it.
In order to reduce the garden's reliance on potable water, primarily from the River Murray, a new wetland system was constructed southeast of the Bicentennial Conservatory to hold stormwater diverted from First Creek. The wetlands form part of an aquifer storage and recovery system, which is expected to have a usable capacity of 100 megalitres, which is 22 million IMP gallon per year, enough to water the entire Botanic Garden. The project was launched in March 2011 and was opened in November 2013. One significant purpose of the wetlands is to educate the public on the importance of wetlands and to showcase plants which may never otherwise have been encountered by visitors. The area accommodates about 20,000 plants, including many Australian natives. The 2.6 hectare, which is 6.4 acres, site also features a trail of interpretive signage, tiered garden beds showcasing aquatic plants, and 3 large ponds with reed beds which support a diverse range of native wildlife. Adventuring through Botanical Gardens, I really learnt a thing or two about the absolutely lovely coloured flowers, even the lush trees as surrounding when you're walking in different parts of this garden place. It's really immersive and very nature given to what it's meant to show, and I really just got so into the wildlife of just seeing what the surroundings were truly like. There were actually some really nice water fountains as I was walking past too. Overall, I think it was just a really incredible atmospheric place to really just go out and see the surroundings of the nature itself and what it has to offer. I truly were amazed by the big glass house in particular, with even the Mediterranean section. Wow, I couldn't believe how special that truly was, with the water going down and the plants on each side. Really, really glad I got to show Botanical Gardens to all of you. I hope you all enjoyed this section as much as I did, and stay tuned, we've got plenty more different infrastructures coming up right about now. The museum is a natural history and research institution in Adelaide, founded in 1856 and owned by the government. It occupies a complex of buildings on North Terrace in the cultural precinct of the Adelaide Parklands. It has the largest collection of Australian Aboriginal cultural collection in the world, and its Australian Polar collection, formerly the Mawson Gallery, includes many artifacts from early Antarctic exploration by scientists and explorers. It also holds a large collection of minerals, over 3 million animal specimens, including the most comprehensive marine mammal collection in Australia, and around 50,000 fossil specimens. The museum library includes reference works relevant to the museum research, as well as being a source of specialised publications and photographs for other researchers. The property on which the arcade was built was the scene of 2 disastrous fires. The first was George Dubney's fine furniture factory and showrooms at 103, 105 Rundle Street, parts of section 84 and 85. On the evening of 16th of July 1855, Patrick Gay, who had been working for Dibney, took over the business in 1867. He also took over the cabinet-making business next door, owned by his father, also named Patrick Gay. Gay's arcade was designed with a 100-foot, 30-metre frontage. The 3-storey building with cellars featured 5 ground floor shops and Gay's furniture store and workshops on the upper floors. A passenger led to a 2-storey arcade containing 12 shops with carved wooden frames, plate glass fronts, and ornamental cast iron work, similar in style to Adelaide Arcade. The glass roof allowed natural light and ventilation, while the walkway was paved with encaustic tiles, marble and Mintalo slate. The design also included a north side right-of-way and south light court for extra natural light. With rear entrances for the shops, Gay occupied the upper floors and one side of the arcade for his business. The Festival Centre, Australia's first capital city multi-purpose arts centre and the home of South Australians performing arts, was built in the early 70s and designed by Hassel Architects. The Festival Theatre opened in June 1973, with the rest of the centre and the Festival Plaza following soon after. Located approximately 50 metres, 160 feet north, it's distinguished by its 2 white geometric dome roofs and lies on a 45-degree angle to the city's grid. The complex includes Festival Theatre, Dustin Playhouse Firmly, the Playhouse and Optomina Playhouse. Space Theatre, formerly the space and several gallery and function spaces, is managed by a stationary corporation. The trust, which is responsible for encouraging and facilitating artistic, cultural and performing arts activities, as well as maintaining and improving the building and facilities of the complex and Her Majesty's Theatre. The centre hosts Adelaide Festival and presents numerous major festivals across the year. The centre was erected on land between Elder Park and Parliament House, and several historical buildings were demolished to make way for the new project. Recently, the external plaza site is undergoing major redevelopment, which started in 2016, but the theatre spaces have remained opened. The car park and plaza area have since been completed as Festival Tower. Overall redevelopment is expected to be completed in 2028. The River Terrains is the most significant river of the Adelaide Plains. It was one of the main reasons for the sitting of the City of Adelaide. It flows 85 kilometres from its source in the Adelaide Hills, near Mount Pleasant, across the plains, past the city centre, and empties into Gulf St Vincent between Henley Beach South and West Beach. The upper stretches of the river and the reservoirs in its watershed supply. It also known by the native Kaurna name for the river Karawira Pari or Karawira Pari Kara, meaning red gum, Wirra meaning forest, and Pari meaning river. Having been officially dual named in 2001, another Kaurna name for the river was Tandapari, Kangaroo River, was thought to be a reflection of the Milky Way Woodlapari, and was the heartland of the Kaurna people who lived along its length and around the tributary creeks. Since European settlement, the river has been a popular tourist attraction, and its linear parks and construction lake have become city icons. Over time, the river flora and fauna were heavily impacted by forest clearing, gravel extraction, and introduced species. However, the creation of the liner parks has helped restore native vegetation and control invasive plants, revitalizing the river's natural environment. The river and its tributaries are highly vulnerable in flow and together drain an area of 508 square kilometres. They range from sometimes raging torrents, damaging bridges and flooding city areas, to trickles and completely dry in summer. Winter and spring flooding have prompted the construction of flood reduction works, a constructed sea outlet, landscaped liner parks, and 3 holding reservoirs containing peak flow. The South Australian Health and Medical Research Institute is an independent health and medical research institute. The institute is housed in a purpose-built eponymous building with its iconic cheese-grater design, created by architects Woods Bagot, located in South Australia's Health and Biomedical Precinct on North Terrace, just east of the Royal Adelaide Hospital. The institute is composed of approximately 700 researchers, many of whom have links to and work collaboratively with other research institutes in Australia and overseas. The institute was officially incorporated in December 2009 and opened in its current location on 29th of November 2013. A second building is under construction as August 2022 and will house the Australian Bragg Centre for Portion Therapy and Research after its completion, scheduled late 2023. The original Adelaide Hospital was built in 1840 at the eastern end of North Terrace, Adelaide. with its first building superseded in 1856 and many alterations and additions over the following 175 years. It was prefixed by the Royal in 1939. In 2017, it was replaced by the new hospital, built at the western end of North Terrace. The redevelopment on the site of an old RA is known as Lot 14. The Oval is a stadium in Adelaide in the state. It's located in the Parklands. The venue is predominantly used for cricket and Australian rules football, but also has played host to rugby league, rugby union, soccer and tennis, as well as regularly being used to hold concerts. Established in 1871, the structures and grounds underwent significant redevelopment between 2012 and 2014. It has 3 grandstands: Riverbank Stand, Eastern Stand and Western Stand, and is known for its heritage-listed scoreboard, which stands alongside a new digital scoreboard. Australia's first stadium hotel, named Oval Hotel, opened in 2024. Adelaide Oval has been headquarters to the South Australian Cricket Association since 1871 and South Australian National Football League since 2014, and is managed by the Adelaide Oval Stadium Management Authority. It has hosted the AFLW Grand Final 3 times since 2019. Its record crowd for cricket is 53,317 for the second Ashes Test on 2nd of December 2017, and its record crowd for an Australian rules football match is 62,543 at the 1965 SANFL Grand Final between Port Adelaide and Sturt. In 2012, Australians.com described Adelaide Oval as being one of the most picturesque Test cricket grounds in Australia, if not the world. After the completion of the ground's redevelopment in 2014, sports journalist Gerald Whitley described the venue as being the most perfect piece of modern architecture because it's a thoroughly contemporary stadium with all the character that it's had in the past. St. Peter's Cathedral is an Anglican cathedral in the capital. It's the seat of the Archbishop of Adelaide and the Metropolitan of the province. The cathedral is a significant landmark and is situated on approximately 1 acre of land at the corner of Pennington Terrace and King William Road. The south front has a similar features to the Cathedral of Notre Dame and the Church of Saint Jean Baptiste de Belleville in Paris, including an alternate rose window above the main entrance which depicts stories of the South Australian and the Bible. The See of Adelaide was constituted in June 1847, as there was no cathedral Trinity Church on North Terrace was denoted as the pro tempore Cathedral Church. Augustus Short, the first Bishop of Adelaide, held the first ordinations there in 29th of June 1848. When Adelaide was surveyed by Colonel William Light over a decade before, land in Victoria Square had been set aside for public use. Bishop Short obtained a land grant in the square from Government Road in March 1848. Glenelg is a beachside suburb located on the shore of Holdfast Bay in Gulf St Vincent. It has become a tourist destination due to its beach and many attractions. Home to several hotels and dozens of restaurants. Established in 1836, it is the oldest European settlement on mainland South Australia. It was named after Lord Glenelg, a member of British Cabinet and Secretary of State of War and the Colonies, though Lord Glenelg the name derives from Glenelg, Highlands, Scotland. Prior to the 1836 British colonisation of South Australia, Glenelg and the rest of Adelaide Plains was home to the Koora group of Aboriginal Australians. They knew the area as Patawillia and the local river as Batungawillianga, now named the Batawalanga River. Prior to European settlement, huge oyster reefs of Australian flat oysters Ostrea and Garci, also known as the southern mud oyster, exist off the coast of Glenelg. Oysters were a huge importance as a food source for Indigenous Australians at many locations around Australia, but the extensive reefs were decimated after colonisation. It is estimated that the South Australian alone, at least 1,500 kilometres of coastal reefs were destroyed by the 21st century. Oyster fishing was practiced by the early settlers, and much of the damage was caused by using dredging to collect the oysters, which led to the reefs being damaged. Glenelg has been a popular spot for recreation and leisure for much of its history. Following the success of Luna Park, Melbourne, a similar amusement park was constructed by Glenelg's foreshore in 1930. Luna Park Glenelg was placed in voluntary liquidation in 1934, and all of the rides excluding a single carousel were disassembled. Purchased by the directors and transported to Sydney, where they were used in the construction of Luna Park, Sydney. The park's managers claimed that the reasons for the closure was inability to make money from the park as it was, and opposition to changes from council and residents who were afraid that undesirables would be attracted to the area. Built near the former Luna Park site was Magic Mountain, which first opened in 1982. It featured water slides, mini golf, bumper boats, Dodge Jam cars, and many other amusements. Was popular with many Adelaide residents. It was also extensively criticised, called an eyesore, and likened to a giant dog dropping in the media. Despite this, it was very popular with young children and teenagers. As part of the Holdfast Shores development, Magic Mountain was finally demolished in 2004 and replaced with the Beach House, a 5-storey modern centre with more conservative design which still incorporates the historic carousel. It opened in mid-2006. Since its opening, the Beach House has been a widely popular attraction of the Glenelg area, appealing to both adults and children. A 25-metre single-arm Ferris wheel was a prominent feature of this area until its closure. The suburb is bordered by Anzac Highway, The road linked to the Adelaide city centre to the north, Brighton Road to the west, and Piers Street to the south. Jetty Road is the main shopping strip in the suburb and runs down the middle. Adelaide Metro operates several bus services from Glenelg to various destinations, including the Central Business District and Adelaide Airport. The local council operates a free loop bus service in the area. Glenelg is a terminus of the Glenelg tram line, which runs from Moseley Square along Jetty Road through Glenelg to the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. The route dates back to 1873. The wide beach is popular with visitors and locals alike, and tourists to Adelaide often visit Glenelg. To the north is the mouth of the Botanical River, which has been dammed to create an artificial lake which is used as a boat harbour. With a lockdown to the sea, this is a popular spot for recreational boating. A replica of HMS Buffalo was constructed in 1980 on the shore of the Botanical, with the appearance of being moored in the artificial lake, with a restaurant operating on it, demolished in 2019 after its popularity declined and it was no longer available as a business. Jetty Road is a long ribbon of shops, entertainment, facilities and other commercial activities, and is the main shopping precinct in Glenelg. There is an annual celebration of the Epiphany for the Orthodox faithful of Adelaide, accompanied by the Greek festival of the Theophany. A shark museum owned and operated by controversialist and shark attack survivor Rodney Fox once operated in Glenelg. Many of its former exhibitions were leased to the South Australian Whale Centre, Victor Harbour, in 2008. In late 2020, the Nature Conservatory used a large barge to scuttle several hundred tonnes of stone across the seafloor, about 1 kilometre offshore, to create 5.9 acres of substrate for a new oyster reef for the native Angasi oyster, which had been nearly eliminated in the Australian waters by over-harvesting and dredging during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Oyster reefs and seagrass beds help to protect the coastline from the effects of storm events and climate change, as well as offering the benefits of greater biodiversity, which helps to protect fish stocks and protection from extreme of temperatures which can be threatened vulnerable species. Construction of Glenelg's first jetty commenced in August 1857. It was opened on 25th of April 1859. The structure was 381 metres long and cost over £31,000 to build. It served fishermen and maritime traders, including a mail service operated by P&O, until Port Adelaide replaced it as Adelaide's main port. Passengers were also able to travel from the Glenelg jetty to Kangaroo Island by steamer. Various additions to the jetty were made, none of which stand today.
Anyway, first time here?
Meeting the long-range track offers a rewarding journey filled with natural beauty and sweeping vistas. As you make your way along the trail, you'll take in splendid views of the city skyline and the sparkling coastline below. The track gently yet steadily ascends the ridge, winding through sections of native bushland where birds can often be heard calling from the treetops. Along the way, there are several open vantage points perfect for pausing to admire the scenery or catch your breath. Gradually, the path leads you closer to the summit, where the expansive panorama unfolds in full, a breathtaking reward for your steady climb. You can access this hidden gem by following either the Sugarloaf Circuit hike or the Chambers hike, both of which provide an unforgettable outdoor experience. Each trail winds through scenic bushland, revealing stunning views of the surrounding valleys, ridges, and distant coastline. Along the way, you'll likely encounter a variety of native wildlife, including curious kangaroos, grazing wallabies, and a chorus of native birds that bring the forest to life. The paths are well marked and offer a mix of gentle inclines and shaded sections, making them suitable for most fitness levels. The track to the lookout itself is quite manageable, genuinely taking between 30 minutes to an hour depending on your pace and chosen route. Once you reach the top, you'll be rewarded with a peaceful panoramic outlook, a perfect spot to rest, take photos, and soak in the natural beauty that makes this area such a hidden treasure. Reviews frequently highlight the excellent transparency and clarity of the trail system, noting how well the routes are signposted and easy to follow. Clear trail markers and informative signage help guide visitors through the various paths leading to the lookout point, ensuring that even first-time hikers can navigate confidently. Many reviews also praise the detailed maps and online descriptions available beforehand, which outline tracks lengths, difficulty levels, and key features to look out for along the way. This level of clear communication gives hikers a sense of preparedness, allowing them to plan their visit with confidence and know exactly what to expect during their venture. Another recurring theme in reviews is the warm and welcoming atmosphere fostered by fellow visitors. Many hikers mention how friendly interactions along the trail, from casual greetings to helpful advice about spotting any sort of wildlife, to make the experience even more enjoyable. This shared spirit of nature enthusiasts adds a personal touch to the outdoor journey, creating a sense of community that enhances the overall experience. Some reviewers even recall striking up brief yet memorable conversations with others, exchanging trail recommendations or photography tips while enjoying the peaceful surroundings. While there are a few formal services mentioned in most reviews, visitors often express appreciation for how seamlessly their experiences unfold without any service-related issues. Facilities such as parking areas, rest points, and trail maintenance are generally described as reliable and well kept, contributing to a smooth and pleasant visit. The absence of complications allows guests to fully immerse themselves in the beauty of the environment, focusing on the hike itself rather than logistics. Many reviewers conclude that the area's natural appeal and hassle-free access make it an ideal destination for anyone seeking a peaceful, well-organized outdoor escape.
service to Grange. The next stop is Bowden.
Grange is a coastal suburb of the city of Charles Sturt in Adelaide, located about 11 kilometres from the main city centre. The suburb is named after Captain Charles Sturt's cottage, built in 1840 to 41, which still stands and is now a museum. In addition to Grange Beach, the suburb has several parks and reserves, as well as the Grange Hotel, which was originally licensed in 1881. Sturt's Farm was subdivided in 1878 by a private company intending to establish a beach resort. The name was adopted in 1945 by the local government area of the town of Henley and Grange following agreement between it and the state's Nomenclature Committee and other government agencies. Boundaries were also established in 1945 over that portion of the town of Henley and Grange located north of Kirkcaldy Beach Road. On 30th of September 1976, its boundaries were revised along with adjoining suburbs including Tennyson and the new suburb of West Lakes. On 19th of November 2009, land bounded by Trimmer Parade, Sportsman Drive, Breepner Drive and Frederick Road was removed from the adjoining suburb of Sitton and added to the northern side of Grange following a proposal put forward by a residential group associated with the Grange Golf Course estate and sponsored by the city of Charles Sturt. Serviced by public transport buses and trains run by the Adelaide Metro, both Grange and East Grange railway stations on the Grange Railway line are in the suburb of Grange. In 1894, the line was extended for a further 2.8 kilometres to terminate at Henley's Beach, but it was removed in 1957 to 58 because the track ran along the increasingly busy military road. The Charles Sturt Museum is based in Sturt's former house, the Grange, which was saved from demolition by being bought by the council in 1956. Brighton is a coastal suburb of Adelaide, situated between Seacliff and Glenelg, and aside Holdfast Bay. Some notable features of the area are the Brighton Seacliff Yacht Club, the Brighton Surf Lifesaving Club, the Brighton Jetty, and a beach. The Windsor Theatre, constructed in 1925, is a long-standing institution. The Kaurna people inhabited the area before the British colonisation of South Australia. Wet'suwet'ina has become the accepted Kaurna name for the area, although its origin is probably arose through confusion with Witawattinga, the certified Kaurna name for an area around the present-day Seacliff Park, meaning in the midst of peppermint gums. There is, however, a Kaurna language meaning for Watuwati, meaning reeds in the middle, so it could be applied to something small. Intermittent swamps with reeds in the area, such as one near Young Street in Seacliff. The first Brighton Town Hall was built in 1869 and was just the fourth town hall built in the colony of South Australia. The architect and builder was George William Height, who arrived in the colony in 1836 and served as a town clerk and inaugural councillor. He died in Brighton aged 80 years old. The hall was constructed of stone from Aliff's quarry in the Adelaide Hills, laid on concrete foundations. It was used as a civic centre as the City of Brighton from 1869 until 1936, when it was then leased by the RSL. The second town hall was opened in 1937 at 24 Jetty Road, and still fulfills a civic administration purpose as one of the 2 City of Holdfast Bay municipal offices. The original Brighton Jetty was built in 1886 and stood for over 100 years. The jetty was badly damaged by winter storms in 1994 and was rebuilt using funds supplied by the mobile phone service provider, hence a telecommunications tower on the end of the jetty. In 1926, the women of Brighton installed a drinking fountain near the entrance of the jetty to commemorate the death of Kathleen Duncan White, who was fatally attacked by a shark while swimming. At the shore end of the jetty is a war memorial arch here. Traditional dawn services are held annually on Anzac Day to commemorate fallen servicemen and women. Brighton has a large sandy beach which is patrolled by Brighton Surf Life Club on weekends and public holidays between November and March. Brighton Beach is popular for Adelaide beachgoers, as it is relevantly safe currently, rated at least hazardous by Surf Life Saving. A sand replenishment program has been in operation for many years, resulting in the beach sand dunes gradually increasing through the program of replacing eroded sand and replanting of the dunes with plants and grasses. In summer, a sandbar normally forms in the water which can produce waves on windy days. Brighton is well known by local surfers for producing messy but fun stormy sessions. The Esplanade is an area of prime real estate which has been transformed over the years from a street of old cottages to a new modern townhouses. Brighton's jetty runs perpendicular to the Esplanade and is home to many restaurants, cafes and local hotel known as the Esplanade or Ipsy. Australian geologist, Antarctic explorer and academic Sir Douglas Mawson and his family, including his wife, community worker and writer Lady Paquita Mawson, and daughters Patricia, later a noted parasitologist, and Jessica, moved into the new home, Derby at 44 King Street, Brighton in 1920. They had previously rented a home on the South Esplanade while it was being built, after returning from England after World War I. The Mawsons lived in Brighton until at least 1958, when Douglas died. Paquita Mawson was a leading community figure in Brighton. His parents, Dutch-born metallurgist and businessman Guillaume Daniel Delprot, and his wife Henrietta Marie Wilhelmine Sophia Delprot, also lived in the suburb. Paquita Mawson, among her many other activities, were instrumental in establishing Hopestown School, which operated out of the parish hall at St Jude's Anglican Church. The Mrs. Fleming of Edwardson Town opened Hopestown School in 1922, and Patricia Mawson attended the school for many early education. The school moved to St Mary's Church Hall in Mitcham in 1962, operating there until 1965. It may have been the longest operating totally independent school in South Australia. Hallett Cove is a coastal suburb of Adelaide, located in the city of Marion, 21 kilometres 13 miles south of the Adelaide city centre. It has a population of more than 12,000 people. Adjoining suburbs are Merino to the north, Trott Park and Shido Park to the east, and Lonsdale to the south. The name Corraldon has been mistakenly ascribed to Hallett Cove as an indigenous name. The corner name of Mercunga was derived from the meaning of Corraldon, and applies specifically to the amphitheatre in the Hallett Cove of Conservation Park. Sites within the Conservation Park are of great geological and archaeological significance, as well as containing sites of great cultural significance to the Kaurna people, including a significant site on the Treebeuke Dreaming Track. The park feature Aboriginal artifacts used by the Kaurna people about 2,000 and the Carlton people up to 40,000 years ago. Geological feature includes glacial striations on the cliff top, which form part of the evidence for the Permian Glaciation of South Australia, then part of Gondwana. Hallett Cove itself is a small rocky beach named after John Hallett, who came across it in 1837 while searching for missing stock. The Field River runs out of the sea at the southern end. The cliff to the north are part of the Conservation Park. Some of the features in the park are Waterfall Creek, Black Cliff, and the Amphitheatre. A freshwater spring near Waterfall Creek is one of the features of the Treebeuke Dreaming Track. As of 2021, the park is included in the Glenelg precinct of protected areas. Before we wrap up, a huge shout out to Andy Joel for letting us feature their amazing track, World at My Feet. Such an inspiring song that really ties in with today's video. Make sure you go show Andy some love and give a listen to plenty more of their music via their Spotify. Big thanks again, Andy, for sharing your sound and energy with us. And if you want to check them out, I've left all their socials in the description below. Enjoy listening.
Reach the stars. You know we could go to Mars. The way I'm feeling, it's out of this world. The way I'm dealing could never be told. I'm standing on top of the world. Stand with me, we'll feel like gold. Hey, know I was lost, but now I'm found. Yeah, there was no cause, this love all around. I've got the world at my feet, yeah. It's so much more than a dream. Hey, I'm here to win and succeed, yeah. I've got the world at my feet, hey. I got the world at my feet, yeah. I know the skies are no limit. I feel like I'm from a different planet. The way I'm feeling, it's out of this world. The way I'm dealing could never be told. I'm standing on top of the world. Stand with me, we'll feel like gold. Hey, you know I was lost, but now I'm found. Yeah, there was no cause, just love all around. Yeah, I got the world at my feet, yeah. It's so much more than a dream. Hey, I'm here to win and succeed, yeah. I got the world at my feet, hey. we could go to Mars. I've got the world at my feet, yeah. It's so much more than a treat, hey. I'm here to win and succeed, yeah. I've got the world at my feet, hey. I got the, hey, yeah. I've got the world at my feet, yeah. I got the world at my feet, yeah.
That was my full week here in Adelaide. And let me tell you something, it was so incredible to finally see this lovely city. We got to see plenty of architecture, to the many wonder coastlines, and some walking tracks along the way. It was good to actually celebrate my 31st birthday here as well. That was a lot of fun, had a truly wonderful time, and to just take this all in, especially when I've actually saved up for many months just to come here. I was really proud of myself. Let me know, everybody, in the comments below what you thought of Adelaide. I think it's going to be a very awesome time to come back here in the future. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all on the final location video of 2025. Take care, everyone. Bye. Take a gander through Granda's socials as well, clicking that subscribe button on his YouTube channel. I also have merch on a website called Redbubble. You can check out by my username Granda94, where it sells all different things such as clothes, headwear, magnets, and alongside of other variety of cool stuff. Always appreciative of all support. Have fun looking through other content of mine, and catch you on the next video. Bye everyone!